the biggest practices that companies, organizations should avoid when it comes to implementing sustainability into their
Hello everyone and welcome to W3 Talks. I am Hiba, I'll be your host for today's episode. Our topic will be sustainability. For this topic, we have a special guest, Ms. Dana. She will share with us her experience about the importance of sustainability for the organizations. Welcome, Ms. Dana, to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Coming to you because you have a big experience with sustainability. So why it's important for the organizations and what's the benefit for it?
Sustainability is a huge, it's a global trending word now, and I think it's important for people to first understand what it means. Sustainability from a global perspective and the widely known definition is being able for us to live today without compromising future generations for meeting their needs. And enable for us to be sustainable, you have to look at three main areas: the social aspect, environmental aspect, and the economical aspect. Obviously, what happens is a lot of the times that the economical aspect is prioritized, but the truth is that you cannot, obviously we cannot live without making an income, without having some source of sustenance for us to live as a society. But what we should prioritize just as much is the social aspect, the social well-being. How can we take care of our people, our communities, protect us? Because essentially we need to sustain ourselves. And of course, the environmental aspect, because we are dependent on the environment for our survival. And so we have a kind of duty to protect the environment as well. So sustainability is looking and prioritizing all these three aspects equally. And why it's important for an organization to look into this, because private, public sectors have a responsibility to ensure that their organizations are running in a sustainable way. They have a duty to make sure that their people, their employees, the communities where they live are taken care of, are not compromised by the work and the functions that they're doing. They have a responsibility as well to ensure that they're not having a negative impact on the environment and actually having more of a positive impact on the environment. And so companies need to look into these things, because for a company to be sustainable, it needs to ensure that it has economic development, it has economic sustenance. But just as important, it needs to make sure that there is some social sustenance as well, to make sure that their employees are taken care of, to make sure that they are operating in an ethical and transparent way, to avoid any future risks or impact on their reputation. They need to make sure that their people are taken care of, so that they can also retain the good talent. They can also attract new talent. They need to make sure that any kind of big projects that they invest in also has a return on investment. So, for example, shifting to renewable energy has shown that it actually helps a company save on costs in the long term. Shifting to more efficient ways of working that are more sustainable, such as going paperless, all of this has a business impact on the company. So in reality, sustainability is very good for the company. It's good for its reputation, it's good for its competitive advantage, for the improvement, for all these components.
So in your opinion, what's the best way forward for a new organization to adopt sustainability culture?
I think, first of all, it's to be willing from the leadership, from the top management, to embed this as part of your business core, and not just something that you put on the side, or something that you kind of an add-on to your business. It has to be integrated in all your business functions. What does this mean? Basically, is that across all the different functions within your business, within HR, within the legal team, within your supply chain logistics. Everybody needs to work in a way where they are thinking about how can we make sure that we are working ethically, we are working without having a negative compromise on the environment. How can we make sure that we're ensuring the well-being of our people is the first front, the most important thing. So this is how you can really look into having sustainability with the business, is essentially making it part of the business DNA and not just something that you do on the side of the business. Yeah.
So thank you, Ms. Dana, for your answer. And what's the misunderstanding about sustainability?
I think the biggest misunderstanding about sustainability is the fact that we tend to always think that it is extremely environmental focused, that when we talk about sustainability, oh, we're talking about recycling, we're talking about, beach cleaning and all these different things. Obviously, these are very important parts of sustainability, of how you can raise awareness with your employees, how you can better manage your waste. These are just as important. But what's important to understand about sustainability is that we're also talking about economic sustenance. So like I said earlier, we cannot survive as a society if we do not have an income, if we do not have a means for us to take care of ourselves and our communities. So economic sustenance and being able to, for a company to stay innovative, to be able to advance and invest in technology and enable for them to always stay current and develop themselves, is just as important for sustainability as it is for environmental responsibility or social responsibility. So I think this would be the biggest misunderstanding.
Yeah, thank you for your answer. So what's the point that we should consider if an organization starts for the preparation for the sustainable report for the first time?
Okay, so reporting is extremely important when a company decides that it wants to adopt more sustainability practices or embed sustainability into its core. Why is it important? Because there is a whole process of sustainability reporting that that encourages a company to evaluate on an annual basis their objectives, their targets, how are they contributing towards ESG, environmental, social, and governance practices, and it pushes them as well to be transparent about their practices and the progresses they're making on an annual basis. So reporting is really important. So how can a company start reporting? Usually it's encouraged for any new organization or any company that is in the beginning phases of their sustainability adoption, is to really, I would say, hire a consultant, bring in an agency that has a background in this. It will be much smoother, much more efficient, and they have the technical know-how to ensure that you are reporting on the requirements needed as per the international standards. So that would be the kind of first step I would kind of encourage, is to bring in. There's many professionals in the market, whether it's small SMEs or bigger kind of global companies. And they would advise you on the best ways. Obviously, the second part of it is for you to understand, engage different stakeholders, whether it's internally or externally, whether it's your employees, your partners externally, is to engage them in the conversation of what you think is important for our company, for our industry to prioritize on a sustainability basis or are part of the ESG indicators. You have to have this engagement, you have to have this feedback, understand the general kind of consensus of what is important for your sustainability strategy. And based on that, you can, and there's different ways you can do that: one-on-one interviews, workshops, brainstorming activities. And then based on the information that you collect in these different sessions, you can then do a materiality assessment, which is essentially to kind of choose what are the priorities for your company. Obviously, you cannot prioritize all the indicators or everything across ESG, but you have to choose what makes sense to your business, what makes sense to your line of your industry. And once you have these material topics, these priority topics across ESG, then you have a kind of obligation or duty to set KPIs for them, key performance indicators, objectives, targets of where you hope to be in the next 3 to 5 years, and then you can begin to report on these on an annual basis. So yeah, this would be the steps for sustainability reporting.
Thank you so much. It was really beneficial to us to know all these points about the sustainability report. So what's in your opinion the practices that companies should avoid regarding the sustainability adoption?
No, that's a good question, Hiba. I think it's important for organizations to be aware of the don'ts, let's say, of sustainability. I would say that the biggest practices that companies, organizations should avoid when it comes to implementing sustainability into their organization is using it as a marketing tool and for the sole purpose of marketing, for the sole purpose of marketing themselves as a sustainable company, but in reality they're not. I think obviously sustainability is a journey. It's not something you achieve overnight, but it's important for organizations to be transparent about the progress they're making. Let's say if we use an example of any, let's say, fashion brand, let's say to make jeans, you require a lot of water consumption to make jeans. So if the jeans company, the jeans brand decides to say, yes, we are an extremely sustainable company, but in reality we say, but no, but you've used huge amounts of liter of water, your water wastage in your production of jeans, then it's going against your practices. This is what we consider, let's say, greenwashing, is trying to market yourself as a sustainable company, but in reality, when we go into your operations or we understand actually how you do your business, then we understand that it's really not responsible. But then this jeans company would say, okay, so what can I do to make sure that, you know, we want to be sustainable, we're committed to be sustainable? Then I would say the biggest thing you can do is to be transparent. Okay, right now 10% of our practices are saving on water. By the next 3 years, we hope to increase by 15%. Then you are setting clear objectives. We know that the company is having clear commitments about how they hope to improve their practices.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dana, for sharing your knowledge and your experience with us for our topic, sustainability. It was really beneficial to us and to our viewers. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, guys, watching our show, W3 Talks. I hope you guys are enjoying our show. And please let us know if you want some other topics to be covered in our next episode.
And please like, comment and share and hit the bell button.
Yes.